The couple moved into a villa worth tens of millions without spending a dime, and the only condition from the owner was that they couldn't touch a certain corner of the backyard. After getting the house, the man didn't keep his promise. He tried to pry open that corner with a crowbar but couldn't manage it. He then sought out the villa's designer for a blueprint. Once home, he began studying it. Following the markings on the blueprint, John quickly found a hidden door leading to the corner. Meanwhile, his wife, who was at school, had no idea what he was doing at home. At that moment, John had pried open the wooden board and crawled inside. Following the light from his flashlight, he discovered another wooden door ahead. He realized he needed to open this door to access the corner. However, bound by the contract, he pondered for a while and decided to drill a small hole first to see what was inside before deciding whether to go in or not. At this moment, his wife returned home from work. Hearing the door open, John quickly ran out from the corner and pretended to be working at the table before she entered. Luckily, his wife didn't notice anything unusual. That night, a sudden phone call rang. It was his mistress, Selena, wanting to discuss the breakup fee. The next day, they both arrived at the underground garage, one after the other. However, Selena had a change of heart. She thought John now had a villa, so she wanted to reconcile. But John told her they were done and warned her not to bother him again. Meanwhile, his wife at home suddenly felt unwell and discovered she was pregnant. The couple's life was getting better, and she thought this child was a gift from heaven. Just as she was happy, she accidentally dropped the pregnancy test in her hand while bending down. Suddenly, she discovered the house design hidden under the bed. Looking at the marked locations on the blueprint, Lisa finally understood what her husband had been doing behind her back and also found the case in the house. At this moment, Selena arrived at John's house, thinking of what to say. Meanwhile, Lisa had already entered the passage and saw the hole John had crawled through. Taking advantage of the absence of anyone at home, Selena slipped into John and his wife's bedroom and saw the pregnancy test on the table. Only then did Selena realize that she and John were completely done. At that moment, Lisa also discovered the open door in the house. On the other side, John was on the phone with a friend when he suddenly saw Selena's car approaching from his house's direction. He hurriedly hung up and chased after it, feeling anxious that Selena might reveal their affair to his wife. Lost in thought, he ended up losing sight of her car. John returned home with a pounding heart, looking at his wife sitting on the sofa in a daze, unsure of how to speak. At that moment, his wife spoke first, saying she was pregnant and had discovered the hidden secret in the house. Realizing he couldn't hide the truth any longer, John confessed. He said he had found the case but hadn't entered the basement. After discussing, they agreed that John would seal off the tunnel, and they both promised not to go in again. However, they didn't know that Lisa had already been inside and discovered the secret. A month passed, and that night, while discussing home renovations, John thought the painting on the wall was too affectionate and wanted to take it down. Just then, he suddenly noticed a bullet casing on the wall. His wife became tense when she recognized it as a bullet casing. John suggested calling the police, but his wife said it was a small matter and didn't need to be so troublesome. They could pretend they hadn't seen anything and continue living a stable life. His wife's unusual behavior immediately raised his suspicions. He felt she must be hiding something from him. Staring at the bullet in his hand, he fell into deep thought. At that moment, he suddenly noticed the guns and bullet boxes on the cabinet. Comparing them, John found that the bullets in the box were identical to the one on the wall. This indicated that the bullet in the wall might have existed long before. To clarify the truth, the next day, John drove to find the previous owner of the villa. From that man, he finally learned about the terrifying aspects of the mansion's basement. After gathering the information, John hurried home, needing to move out of the house immediately. But how could a woman living a luxurious life be willing to leave just like that? Seeing that his wife was unresponsive, John grabbed the tool and headed straight for the corner in the backyard. His wife panicked when she saw him. She quickly ran out to try to stop him, but her husband was determined to pry open the corner. Unable to persuade him, Lisa picked up a metal rod and knocked him out from behind. When her husband woke up, Lisa explained why she didn't want him to open that corner. In fact, on the day of the bridge party, she had noticed that Selena and her husband had an unusual relationship. Later, Selena even boldly came to their home to find out what she was up to. Lisa followed her with a gun. When she saw Selena break into their bedroom, Lisa pointed the gun at her, demanding she leave, but Selena ignored her and even lunged to grab the gun. So, Lisa shot and killed her. To prevent anyone from discovering it, she disposed of Selena's body and threw it into the corner. This was also the reason why Lisa was so adamant about not letting her husband pry open the corner. At this point, John finally understood that the person he had been chasing that day was his wife, who had driven off in Selena's car. Afterward, she burned the car to destroy the evidence. Knowing the truth, John immediately wanted to call the police, but at that moment, Lisa turned the gun on him. She said to her husband, "Now you have two choices. Either I shoot you dead right now, and I raise our unborn child alone, or we pretend nothing happened and continue living in this dream house as a family of three." For the sake of their unborn child, John had no choice but to agree to his wife's demands. But in reality, there was nothing in that corner. It was all a trap set by the wealthy to test human greed.